please silence your cell phones and unwrap your candy bars and any other things that need to happen now. And enjoy what these folks have been working real hard on all unit. And have a fun time.
Just 1 second. Mother? Mother?
Yes, dear?
Telephone.
Oh, no, dear, not all of them in there. Say I'm busy.
But Mother, it's the society editor of the evening newspaper.
Oh, the society editor. She's very important. Good afternoon, Miss Eller. Yes, a tea and reception for members of the Wednesday Forum. You might say program tea. Yes. My mother, you know, the late Marcella Pinney Dowd, a pioneer cultural leader. She came here by ox team as a child and founded the Wednesday Forum. Myrtle, how many would you say?
75 at least. Say 100.
75? Miss Tewksbury is the soloist, accompanied by Wilda McCurdy, accompanist.
Yes. Oh, Mother, come. Miss Tewksbury is almost finished with her number.
She'll do an encore.
What if she doesn't get a lot of applause?
I've known her for years. She'll do an encore. Yes. Yes, Miss Eller. Is that what you say? For those of you who suddenly forget it. Yes. You might say that I am entertaining, assisted by my daughter, Miss Myrtle May Simmons. What color would you call that?
Rancho red, they told me.
Miss Myrtle May Simmons looked charming in a modish rancho red toned crepe, picked up at the girdle with a touch of magenta on emerald. I wish you could see her, Miss Eller.
Oh, Mother, come. And where's the chef?
Everything's ready. As soon as she's finished singing, we'll open the doors and begin pouring. The parlors and halls are festooned with smilings. Yes, festooned. That's right. Yes. Miss Albert, this is the first party we've had in years. There's a reason, but I don't want it in the papers. We all have our troubles, Miss Albert. Guest list? Oh, yes.
Mother, come!
If you'll excuse me now, Miss Eller, I'll call you later.
Miss Chauvenet just walked in.
This is Eugene Chauvenet, senior. Her father was a scout with Buffalo Bill.
So that's where she got that hat.
Myrtle, you must be nice to Mrs. Chauvenet. She has a grandson about your age.
What difference will that make with Uncle Elwood?
Myrtle Bay, remember, we agreed not to talk about that this afternoon. The point of this whole party is to get you started. We work our way from those older women to the younger group.
But we can't have people here in the evening, and that's when men come to see you. In the evening. The only reason why we can have this get-together this afternoon is because Uncle Elwood is playing pinochle at the 4th Avenue Firehouse. Thank God for that firehouse.
I know. They'll just have to invite you out, and it won't hurt them one bit. Oh, I don't care what anyone says. There's something sweet about every young girl. And a man takes that sweetness as nobody does it. You've got to meet somebody, Myrtle. That's all there is to it.
If I do, they say, that's Myrtle May Simmons. Her uncle is Elwood P. Dowd. Elwood P. Dowd and his friend.
You promised.
I'm sorry. Let's go into the dining room.
Now, when you make your little welcome speech on behalf of your grandmother, be sure to do this.
And then after that, I'll say a few words about my Uncle Elwood and a few words about his friend, Harvey. Damn, Harvey!
Myrtle May, that's right. Let everybody in the Wednesday Forum hear you. You said that name. You promised me you wouldn't say that name, and you said it.
I'm sorry, Mother. But how do you know Uncle Elwood won't come in and introduce Harvey to everybody?
This is unkind of you, Myrtle May. Elwood is the biggest heartache I have. Even if people do call him peculiar, he's still my brother. And he won't be home this afternoon.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure.
But Mother, why can't we live like other people?
Must I remind you again, Elwood is not living with us, we are living with him.
Him and Harvey? Did grandmother know about Harvey?
I've wondered about that. She never wrote me if she did.
Why'd she have to leave all this property to Uncle Elwood?
I suppose it's because she died in his arms. People are sentimental about things like that.
You always say that, and it never makes sense. She couldn't have given out her will after she died, could she?
Don't be didactic, Myrtle. It's not becoming in a young girl, and clothing. Now, don't forget to wave your hand.
I'll do my best.
Oh dear, Miss Tewksbury's voice is certainly fading.
But not fast enough.
Lovely, Miss Tewksbury! Perfectly lovely! I loved it!
Excuse me a moment, I have to answer the phone. Make yourself comfortable, Harvey. Hello? Oh, you've got the wrong number. But how are you anyway? This is Elwood P. Dowd speaking. I'll do. Well, thank you. And what is your name, my dear? Miss Elsie Greenewalt. Harvey, it's Miss Elsie Greenewalt. How are you today, Miss Greenewalt? That's fine. Yes, my dear, I would be happy to join your club. I belong to several clubs now, the University Club, the Country Club, and the Pinochle Club at the 4th Avenue Firehouse. I spend a good deal of my time there, or at Charlie's place, or over at Eddie's bar. And what is your club, my dear? Harvey, I get the Ladies' Home Journal, Good Housekeeping, and the Open Road for Boys for 2 years, for $6.25. It sounds fine to me. I'll join it. How does it sound to you, Harvey? Harvey says it sounds fine to him also. He says he will join too. Yes, 2 subscriptions. Mail everything to this address. I hope I'll have the pleasure of meeting you sometime, my dear. Harvey, she says she would like to meet me. When? When would you like to meet me, Miss Greenaway? Why not right now? My sister seems to be having a few friends in, and we would consider an honor if you would come in and join us. My sister will be delighted. 343 Temple Drive. Hope to see you in a very few minutes. Goodbye, my dear. She's coming right over. Harvey, don't you think we better freshen up? Yes, so do I.
I can't seem to remember when I put that guest list. I must read it to Miss Ellen. Have you seen it, Miss Johnson?
No, I have no swims.
Mother, Miss Chauvenet. She's looking for it. Here she is, Miss Chauvenet. Here's Mother.
Hey, Louise Simmons, I thought you were dead.
Oh, no.
And this charming little lady is your daughter. I've known you since you were a baby.
I know.
What's your name, dear?
This is Myrtle and Ethel. Myrtle May, not the 2 sisters of her father. He's dead, that's what confused me.
Where is Elwood?
He couldn't be here this afternoon, Aunt Ethel.
Elwood isn't here?
No.
Oh, shame on him. That was the main reason I came. I want to see Elwood.
Well, simply couldn't be here this afternoon.
Do you realize, Veda, it's been years since I've seen Elwood?
No. Where does the time go?
But I don't understand it. I was saying to Mr. Chauvenet just the other day, what on earth do you suppose has happened to Elwood Dowd? He never comes to the club dances anymore. I haven't seen him at a horse show in years. Does Elwood see anybody these days?
Oh, yes, and Ethel, Elwood sees somebody.
Your Uncle Elwood, child, is one of my favorite people. Always has been.
Elwood's very happy. You don't have to worry about Elwood. Why, there's Mrs. White Cummings, just came in. Would you like to speak to her?
My, but she looks ghastly. Hasn't she failed?
If you think she looks badly, you should see him.
Is that so? I must have him over. Oh, but she looks absolutely dreadful. I thought she was dead.
Oh,
woman waiting for me.
Elwood, you haven't changed.
Come along, Aunt Ethel. You mustn't miss the party.
And there's punch if you don't like tea.
But I do like tea. Stop pulling at me, you. Elwood, what night next week can you come to dinner?
Any night at all, Aunt Ethel, I would be delighted.
Elwood, there's some mail for you today. I took it up to your room.
Did you, Rita? That was nice of you. Aunt Ethel, I want you to meet Harvey. As you can see, he's a puka. Harvey, you've heard me speak of Miss Chabonet. She's one of my oldest and dearest friends. We always call her Aunt Ethel. Yes, that's right. She's the one. This is the one. Anywhere. You both look lovely. I beg your pardon, Aunt Ethel, if you'll excuse me for one moment.
What?
You're standing in his way. Go right along, Harvey. Oh, one moment. Go right along, Harvey. I'll join you in a moment. Aunt Ethel, I can see you are disturbed about Harvey. Please don't be. He stares like that at everybody. It's his way. But he likes you, I can tell. He likes you very, very much.
Some tea, perhaps.
Well, I think I'll just be running along.
But I'm so sorry.
I'll be talking to you soon. Goodbye.
I can't do this. I can't.
Where are you going?
Up to my room. He's introducing Harvey to everybody. I can't face those people. I wish they were dead.
Come with me. We'll get him out of there and upstairs to his room. Now, pretend I'm fixing your corsage.
Oh, Mother.
You've got to pretend we're having a gay little chat. When you catch his eye, tell me. He always comes when I call him. Now then, do you see him yet?
No, not yet. Mother, people get run over by horses every day. Why can't something like that happen to Uncle Elwood?
Hey, Simmons, I'm ashamed of you. This thing is not your uncle's fault.
No, you're sticking with that pen.
Hello, this is Veda Simmons. Did you come in the have on? What have you on? Who is this? But I don't know any Miss Greenewald. May I ask who invited you? Mr. Dowd? I'm sorry, but I believe there has been a mistake. Well, I never.
Never what?
One of your Uncle Elwood's friends. She asked if you should bring a quart of orange juice to the Wednesday for her.
There he is. He's talking to Mrs. Halsey.
Oh, Elwood! Can I see you a moment, dear? I promise you, your Uncle Elwood has disgraced us for the last time in this house. I'm going to do something I've never done before. You're no match to Uncle Elwood. You'll see.
Mother's waiting for you.
Elwood, would you mind sitting down in here and waiting for me until the party is over? I want to talk to you. It's very important.
Of course, sister. I happen to have a little free time right now, and you're welcome to all of it, Rita. Do you want Harvey to wait too?
Oh, yes, Elwood. I certainly do.
Sit down, Harvey. Rita wants to talk to us. She said it was important. I think she wants to congratulate us on the impression we made at her party. Jane Austen, Deluxe Edition, Grasset done that. Usual acknowledgements. Chapter 1. 343 Temple Drive, is that right?
Yes, it's old, but we love it. It's our home.
And you wish your brother here to continue the treatment? Your brother's name?
It's, oh,
Mrs. Simmons, what is your brother's name?
I'm sorry. Life is not easy for any of us. I'll just have to hold my head up and go on just the same. That's what I keep telling Myrtle, and that's what Myrtle May keeps telling me. She's heartbroken about her Uncle Elwood. Elwood P. Dowd, that's it.
Elwood P. Dowd. His age?
47, the 24th of last April. He's Taurus the bull. I'm Leo, and Myrtle is on the cusp.
47. Is he married?
No, Elwood is never married. He stayed with Mother. He was always a great homeboy. He loved his home.
You have him with you now?
He's in a taxi cab down in the driveway. I gave the driver $1 to watch him, but I didn't tell the man why. You can't tell these things to perfect strangers.
Mr. Wilson, will you please ask Mr. Dowd if he'd be good enough to step up to room number 24 South Main Street?
Ask him.
This is his sister, Mrs. Simmons.
How do certainly be glad to escort him.
Thank you.
The rings are here, Mrs. Simmons.
Oh, no, that will all be taken care of on my mother's estate. The late Marcella Penny Dowd.
Now see if Dr. Sanderson can see it.
Dr. Sanderson, I want to see Dr. Chumley himself.
Oh, Miss Simmons, Dr. Sanderson is the one who sees everyone. Dr. Chumley sees no one.
He's still head of this institution, isn't he? He's still a psychiatrist, isn't he?
He's still a psychiatrist. Dr. Chumley is more than that. He's a psychiatrist with a national reputation. Whenever anyone has a mental breakdown, they at once think of Dr. Chumley.
Well then, that's his office, isn't it? You march right in there and tell him I want to see him. If he knows who's out here, he'll come in here.
I wouldn't dare do that, Miss Simmons. I'd be discharged if I did.
Well, I don't like to be pushed off onto any second fiddle.
Dr. Sanderson is nobody's second fiddle. He's young, of course, and he hasn't been out of medical school very long. But Dr. Chumley tried out 12 and kept Sanderson. He's quite wonderful to the patients.
Very well, tell him I'm here.
Right away.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Maida, isn't this wonderful?
Mrs. Simmons?
You're Dr. Sanderson.
Yes, may I be seated, please?
I hope you don't think I'm jumpy like that all the time, but
Of course not. It's probably time to be your concern about your brother. Dowd, is it? LP Dowd?
yes, this isn't easy for me, Doctor.
Naturally, these things are easy for the families of patients. I understand.
It's what Elwood's doing to himself, that's the thing. Myrtle May has a right to nice friends. That's my daughter.
Your daughter. How long has it been since you began to notice any strangeness in your brother's actions?
I noticed it right away when Mother died and we came back home from Des Moines to live with Elwood. I could see that he...
Then what, Mrs. Simmons? Don't strain. Let her come. I'll wait for it.
Doctor, everything I say to you is confidential, isn't it?
That's understood.
Because it's a slap in the face to everything we've stood for in this community, the way Elwood is acting now.
I'm not a gossip, Mrs. Simmons. I'm a psychiatrist.
Well, for one thing, he drinks.
To excess?
To excess. Well, don't you call it excess, but a man never lets a day go by without stepping into one of those cheap taverns, sitting around with riffraff and people you never heard of, inviting them to the house, playing cards with them, giving them food and money, and here I am trying to get Myrtle May started with a nice group of young people. If that isn't excess, I'm sure I don't know what excess is.
I did that your statement, Mrs. Simmons. I merely asked if your brother drinks.
Well, yes, I say definitely Elwood drinks, and I want him committed out here permanently because I cannot stand another day of that Harvey. Myrtle May and I have to set a place at the table for Harvey. We have to move over on the sofa to make room for Harvey. We have to answer the telephone when Elwood calls and asks to speak to Harvey. And this afternoon at the party with Mrs. Chauvenet there. Oh, I didn't even know anything about Harvey until we came back here. Don't you think it would have been a little bit kinder of Mother to have written and told me about Harvey? Be honest now, don't you?
I really can't answer that question because
I can. Yes.
This person you call Harvey, who is he?
He's a rabbit.
Perhaps, but just who is he? Some companion, someone your brothers picked up in one of these bars of whom you disapprove?
Doctor, Harvey is a big white rabbit, 6 feet high, or is it 6 feet 1.5? Heaven knows I ought to know. He's been around the house long enough.
Now, Mrs. Simmons, let me understand you. You say,
My brother insists that his closest friend is a big white rabbit. This rabbit is named Harvey. Harvey lives at our house. Don't you understand, Doctor? He and Elwood go every place together. Elwood buys railroad tickets, theater tickets, for both of them.
Now, Mrs. Simmons,
Doctor, I'm going to tell you something I've never told anybody in the world before. Every once in a while, I see that big white rabbit myself. Now, don't you ever tell that to anybody, Doctor. I'm ashamed of it.
I can see that you've been under a great nervous strain recently.
Oh, yes, I have.
Grief over your brother's death depressed you considerably.
Nobody knows how much.
Then losing sleep,
Can anyone sleep with what's going on?
short-tempered over trifles,
You just try living with those two and see how your temper holds up.
loss of appetite.
No one could eat at a table with my brother and a big white rabbit. Well, I'm finished with it. I'll sell the house, be appointed conservator of Elwood's estate, and Myrtle May and I will be able to entertain our friends in peace. It's too much, Doctor. I just can't stand it.
Of course it is, Mrs. Simmons. Of course it is. You're tired.
Oh, yes, I am.
You've been worrying a great deal.
Yes, I have. I can't help it.
I'm going to help you.
Oh, Doctor, thank you.
Just wait here patiently, Mrs. Simmons. I'll be right back.
I'll just go down to the cab and get Elwood's things.
Why did someone answer the brother?
I didn't hear you, Doctor.
I rang. Simmons, Sona gone, Wilson. That poor woman must not leave the grounds.
She made a getaway, huh, Doc?
Her condition is serious. Go after her.
I can't believe it.
Main gate, Henry. Dr. Sanderson. Allow no one out of the main gate. We're looking for a patient. Shouldn't have left her alone when no one answers the buzzer.
Wilson South, Doctor.
What have you available, Miss Kelly?
Number 13 West Arts, ready, Doctor.
Have her taken there immediately. I will prescribe preliminary treatment. I must contact your brother, Dowds at LPW. Give on telephone, please.
But I didn't think it was a woman who needed treatment. She said it was for her brother.
Of course she did. It's the oldest dodger in the world. Always used by a cunning type of psychopath. She apparently knew her brother was about to commit her, so she came out here to discredit him. Get on telephone, please.
But Dr. Sanderson, I thought the woman was all right, so I had the brother take. I had Wilson pick the brother up to number 24 feet.
You had Wilson take the brother in? No gags, please, Miss Kelly. Tell me you're not serious.
Oh, I did, Doctor. I did. Oh, Doctor, I'm terribly sorry.
Well, if you're sorry, that fixes everything.
I'll do it, Doctor. Miss Dunphy, please unlock the room to number 24 and give Mr. Dowd his clothes. And
Ask him to step down to the office right away.
Ask him to step down to the office. Right? There's been a terrible mistake, and Dr. Sanderson wants to explain.
Explain! Apologize!
Thank heaven they hadn't put him in the hydro tub yet. She'll love him now.
Head nurse and a fool, too. It's almost too good to be true.
Doctor, I feel terrible. Judge Gaffney called in Miss Simmons and her brother would be out here, and when she came in here, you don't have to be sarcastic.
Oh, don't I? Stop worrying. We'll just go down to somewhere.
Where are you going?
Go and tell the chief about this, Kelly. He may want to handle it himself.
But he'll be furious. He'll die, and then he'll terminate me.
The responsibility is all mine, Kelly.
This man Dowd.
Don't let him know. Wait, I'll be right back.
But what shall I say to him? What shall I do? He'll be furious.
Look, he'll probably be 15 tied. He's a man, isn't he?
I guess so. His name is Mister.
Well, go with your older key. You know, the eyes, the swish, the works. I'm immune. But I've seen it work with some of the patients I hear. He didn't hear Kelly just sing a song.
Of all the... Oh, you're wonderful, Dr. Sanderson. You're just about the most wonderful person I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, but how give me a hand here just the same.
What?
That Simmons dame.
Did you catch her?
Slick as a whistle, walking along the path humming a little tune. I jumped out from behind a tree and said, "Woman, there's a man who wants to see ya." Should have heard her scream. She's wacky, all right.
Take her to number 13 West Arts.
She's in there now. Brought her into the dry kitchen. She's screaming and kicking like hell. You hold her, and I'll come and change her.
Just a minute, Wilson. Dr. Sanderson asked me to wait here for the brother.
Make it snappy.
Here, Mr. Dowd.
Elwood P.
I'm Miss Kelly.
Let me get you one of my cards. If you should want to call me at this number. All right? Call me at that one. That's the other one. Hopefully all right. And if you lose it, don't worry. I have plenty more.
Will you please have a chair, Mr. Dowd?
Thank you. I'll have two.
Dr. Sanderson is very anxious to meet you. He'll be here in a minute. Please be seated.
After you, my dear.
Oh, please, don't worry about me. I'm in and out all the time, but you mustn't mind me. Please be seated.
After you.
Mr. Dowd?
Elwood P. Let me give you one of my cards.
Mr. Dowd, I'm Dr. Liverson. Dr. Tully's assistant here.
Well, good for you. I'm happy to know you. How are you, doctor?
It's going to depend on you, friend. You've met Miss Kelly, Mr. Dowd?
I have had that pleasure. And I want the two of you to meet a very dear friend.
Later on, be glad to. Please be seated.
After Miss Kelly.
Sit down, Kelly. No, but Mr. Dowd, I can see that you're not the type of person to be taken in by the high-flown phrases or beating around the bush.
Is that so, doctor?
You have us at a disadvantage here. You know it, we know it. Let's lay the cards on the table.
That certainly appeals to me, Doctor.
Best way in the long run, people are people, no matter where you go.
That's very often the case.
And being people are therefore liable to mistakes. Miss Kelly and I have made a mistake here this afternoon, Dad, and we'd like to explain it to you.
It wasn't Dr. Sanderson's fault, Mr. Dowd. It was
Human failing, as I said. Now, if I had seen your sister first, that would have been an entirely different story. But he most times actually Eddie blamed her. She's a very sick woman. He came here insisting you receive treatment.
Rita shouldn't be upset about me. I get along fine.
Exactly. But your sister had already talked to Miss Kelly, and there had been a call from your lawyer, Judge Gaffney.
Oh, I know him. Know his wife too.
Is
Nice
there
people.
something I can get for you, Mr. Dowd?
What did you have in mind?
A light here, let me give you it. Your sister was extremely nervous and plunged right away into a heated tirade on your drinking.
That was Rita.
She became hysterical.
I tell Rita not to worry about that. I'll take care of that.
Exactly. Oh, I suppose take a drink now and then the same as the rest of us.
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, I would like one right now.
I'm back to that. But your sister's reaction to the whole matter of drinking was entirely too intense. Does your sister drink, Mr. Dowd?
Oh, no, I don't believe Rita has ever taken a drink.
Well, I'm going to surprise you. I think she has and does, constantly.
I am certainly surprised.
But it's not her alcoholism that's going to be the basis by a diagnosis of her case. It's much more serious than that. It's when she began talking so emotionally about this big white rabbit. Harvey, yes, I believe she called him Harvey.
Harvey is his name.
She claimed you're persecuting her with this Harvey.
I haven't been persecuting her with Harvey. Rita shouldn't feel that way. And now, before we get any further, I must insist
Let
that
me
we
make my point first, Mr. Dowd. I told your sisters that it's spring up overnight. Her condition stems from trauma.
For what?
For trauma. So T-R-A-U-M-A. Means shock. Nothing unusual about it. There's the birth trauma, the shock to the act of being born.
That's one we never get over.
Give an S to here, Dad. Doesn't he, Miss Kelly?
Oh, yes. May I say the same about the both of you?
To sum up, your sister's condition is serious, but I can help her. She must, however, remain out here temporarily.
How's your grandmother doing?
Well, I mean, under these circumstances, I will commit my grandmother.
Does your grandmother drink too?
It's just expression. Now, we signed these temporary commitment papers as next of kin, just a formality.
Oh, you better let Rita do that, Doctor. She always does all the signing and managing for the family. She's good at it.
We can't disturb her now.
Perhaps I'd better talk it over with Judge Gaffney.
Talk to him later. Tell him I advise it. And it is if you could jump in here anytime and make inquiries. I'll make out a full visitor's pass for you. Where would you like to come back? Wednesday, say? Friday, say?
Oh, you and Miss Kelly have been so pleasant. I can come back right after dinner, about 1 hour.
Well, we're pretty busy around here, and I guess that's all right.
Don't really have to go now. I'm not very hungry.
Delight to have you stay. Miss Kelly and I have to grab her upstairs now. Plenty of work to do. But I'll tell you what you might like to do.
What might I like to do?
We don't usually do this, but just to make sure in your mind that your sister is in good hands, why not look around here?
For Rita's sake, I believe I'd better do that, Doctor.
Well, it's been a pleasure to have to talk with you, Mr. Dowd.
I've enjoyed it too, Doctor, meeting you and Miss Kelly.
And I will say that for a layman, you show an unusually acute perception to psychiatric problems.
As a matter of fact, I never thought I knew anything about them. Nobody does, do you think?
Well, because psychiatrist doesn't found under every bush.
You have to pick the right bush. Well, since we all seem to be enjoying this so much, let us keep right on. I'd like to invite you to come with me now down to Charlie's place. When I enjoy people, I like to stay right with them. I would be delighted to stay.
Well, delighted to have you stay, but Miss Kelly and I have to get on upstairs now. Plenty of work to do. But give us a rate check, because some other time we'd be glad to.
When?
Oh, I can't say right now. Miss Kelly and I don't get off till 10 o'clock at night.
Let us go to Charlie's at 10 o'clock tonight.
Well,
And you, Miss Kelly?
if Dr. Chubby doesn't prove the members of the staff fraternizing with other patients.
I feel like I've been very understanding, Doctor. I feel like it would really be very pleasant for all of us to come.
Of course we can manage it.
Well, I'll pick you up in a cab at 10 o'clock tonight, and the 4 of us will spend a happy evening. I want the 2 of you to become friends with a very dear friend of mine. You said later on, so later on it will be. Bye now. Come on, Harvey.
Now I feel like I can breathe again.
Boy, that was a close shave, all right. But you seem to be a reasonable sort of fellow. That made us proud. What it has to be proud of, I don't know. I played up to that pride. You get to almost any event if you want to. I must get on a Simmons moment.
Dr. Sanderson, you say you can get to anybody if you want to. How can you do that?
Take steady, Kelly. Years of specialized training. There's only one thing I like about this Dow business.
What's that?
Hiring to make a date with him. Of course, the man who's left here is a good friend and a booster of the sanatorium, so you don't have to go, but I guess I'll have to.
Oh,
No point in it. I would jerk them, pat him on the back, leave, and that date tonight anyway.
by all means, I didn't mean to go anyway. The idea bored me stiff. I wouldn't go if I never went anywhere again. I wouldn't go if
What's the matter with you, Kelly? What are you getting so emotional about?
He may have been a peculiar man with funny clothes, but he knew how to act. His manners were perfect.
I saw you give him a stare. I didn't miss that.
He wouldn't sit down till I sat down. He was kind. I'd go and have a drink with him if you weren't going.
Sure you would. And look at him. All he does is sit around bars. He doesn't work. All that corny bowing and getting up out of his chair. Every time a woman tries to make a move, why, he's as outdated as a cast-iron deer. But you sit with him in a bar and let him flatter you. You're one for a girl, Kelly.
Now let me tell you something.
Dr. Sanderson, Miss Kelly,
Yes, doctor.
tell the gardener to prune more carefully around my prized dahlias. They'll be ready for cutting next week. Has a difficulty with the woman who sees the big white rabbit. Has it been smoothed over?
Yes, doctor. I spoke to your brother and he was quite reasonable.
I've had many patients who see animals, but never one that large.
This case definitely has an interesting face, doctor.
Quite does. What'd you say she called the rabbit again?
I believe she called him Harvey.
Harvey. Usual name for an animal of any kind. Harvey is a man's name, not an animal's name. Know many animals in my name, and I've known many men in my day with the name Harvey. Never an animal. Possibly we could use the formula 977 on her.
Yes, doctor.
Now, may I ask, what that hat and coat is doing on the table?
I don't know who it is. Do you know, Miss Kelly? Was it Doubts?
Dad had his hat on. Maybe it belongs to a relative of one of the patients.
Hand it here. Let me see if there's some kind of identification. See here. 2 holes cut in the crown of the hat.
That's strange.
Must be some new fat. Take it away. Get it out of here.
Hello, Dr. Chumley.
Oh, there you are.
How's every little old thing doing?
Ah, fair, Wilson.
Look, somebody's gonna have to give me a hand with that cement thing. She's terrible.
We were going up to see this woman right now.
She's in the hydro tub now.
Oh no! I left the water running on her!
Willie, you remember your promise? Hello, Dr. Sanderson. Willie, you haven't forgotten Dr. McClure's cocktail party. You promised me faithfully.
Yes, darling. I have to go and check on a patient. Be down shortly.
Give a little quick diagnosis, Willie. We don't want to be late to the party. I'm dying to see the inside of that house. Good evening.
Good evening.
I am Dr. Chumley's wife.
I'm glad to meet you. Dowd is my name. Elwood P. Let me get you one of my cards. If you should want to call me, I'll make this number. I'll make that one, because that's the old one.
Thank you. Is there something I can do for you?
What did you have in mind?
You seem to be looking for someone.
Yes, I am. I'm looking for Harvey. I went off without him.
Harvey, is he a patient here?
Oh, no, nothing like that.
Does he work here again?
Oh, no, he's what you might call my best friend. He is also a hookah.
Where was he when you last saw him?
He was in that chair there with his hat and coat on the table.
There doesn't seem to be any hat and coat there now. Perhaps he left?
Apparently, I don't see him anywhere.
Now, what was that word you just said? Hookah?
Yes, that's it.
Is that something new?
Oh, no, matter of fact, as I understand it, it's very old.
Oh, really? I never happened to hear it before.
I'm not too surprised at that. I had myself until I met him. But I do hope to get an opportunity to meet him. I'm sure he would be quite taken with you.
Well, that's very nice of you to say so, I'm sure.
Not at all. Because if Harvey happens to take a liking to people, he expresses himself quite definitely. If he's not particularly interested, he just sits there like an empty chair or an empty space on the floor. Harvey takes his time making his mind about people. Choosy, you see.
That's not such a bad way to be in this day and age.
Harvey is fond of my sister Veda. That's because Harvey is fond of me, and Veda and I come from the same family. Now, you'd think that feeling would be mutual, wouldn't you? But Veda doesn't seem to care for Harvey. Don't you think that's too bad, Mrs. Trimley?
Oh, I don't know, Mr. Dowd. I gave up a long time ago expecting my family to like my friends. It's useless.
But we must keep on trying.
Yes, I suppose there's no harm in trying.
So if Harvey has said it to me once, he said it 1,000,000 times. Mr. Dowd, I would do anything for you. Mrs. Chumley,
Yes?
did you know that Mrs. McElhenney's Aunt Rose is going to drop in on her unexpectedly tonight from Cleveland?
Why, no, I didn't.
Neither does she. That puts you both in the same boat, doesn't it?
Well, I don't know any Mrs.
Mrs. McElhenney, she lives next door to us. She's a wonderful woman. Harvey has told me about her Aunt Rose. That's an interesting little news item, and you are perfectly free to pass it around.
Well,
Would you care to come downtown with me now? I would be glad to buy you a drink.
Oh, no, I can't right now. I'm waiting for Dr. Chumley. If he came down here and found me gone, he would be liable to raise... he would be irritated.
We wouldn't want that, would we? Some other time, maybe.
I'll tell you what I'll do, however.
What will you do, however? I'm interested.
If your friend comes in while I'm here, I'd be happy to give him a message for you.
Would you do that? I'd certainly appreciate that.
Oh, no trouble at all. I'll write it down on the back of this card. Now, what would you like me to tell him if he comes in while I'm here?
Tell him to meet me downtown, if he has no other plans.
Meet Mr. Dowd downtown. Any particular place downtown?
He knows where. Harvey knows this town like a book.
Harvey, you know where. Harvey, what?
Just Harvey.
I'll tell you what.
What?
Doctor and I are going right downtown to 12th and Monkview. Dr. McClure is having a cocktail party.
A cocktail party at 12th and Monkview.
We're driving down there in a few minutes. We'd be happy to give your friend a lift into town.
I hate to impose on you, but I would certainly appreciate that.
Oh, no trouble at all.
Well, it's been very pleasant meeting you, my dear, and I hope to see you again.
Yes, so do I.
All right, good night, my dear. You can't miss Harvey. He's very tall. Like that.
This Simmons woman is uncooperative. She refuses to admit to me that she's the one who sees this big white rabbit. Insists it's her brother. No. Whatever. You know where to call me if you need me. Ready, darling?
Yes, Willie, and oh, Willie,
Yes?
there's a man in here, a man named, oh, here's his card. Dowd, Elwood P. Dowd.
That's Mrs. Simmons' brother. I told him to look around. I give him full visiting privileges.
Oh, she mustn't see anyone tonight. Not anyone at all. Tell him that.
Yes, doctor.
He'd been asked to see her. He was looking for someone, some friend of his.
Was there anyone when you saw him, Dr. Sanderson?
No. No, doctor.
He said it was someone he came out here with this afternoon.
Was there anyone with Dowd when you saw this guy?
No, I saw him.
Well, he said there was. He said he last saw his friend sitting right in this chair here with his hat and coat. He seemed quite disappointed. I told him if we located his friend, we would give him a lift into town. He could ride in the back seat. Was that all right, Willie?
Oh, of course, of course.
Oh, look, here it is. I wrote it down on the back of this card. It said his friend's name was Harvey.
Harvey?
The last name. He said something else about him. Puka? But I didn't quite get what that was.
Harvey!
He said his friend was very tall. Oh, well, why are you looking at me like that, Willie? This is a very nice, polite man, and he merely asked to give his friend a lift in town. And if we can't do a favor to someone, why are we living?
How long ago was he in here, Mrs. Chumley?
Give me that hat. By George, we'll find out about this.
I don't know what... Just a second ago.
Main gate, Henry. Dr. Sanderson.
Gaffney. Judge Gaffney.
Henry, did a man in a brown suit go through the gate a minute ago? He did? He's gone?
Judge Gaffney. This is Dr. William Chumley, the psychiatrist. I'm making a routine checkup on the spelling of a name before entering it into our records. Judge, you telephoned out here this afternoon about having a client of yours committed. How is that name spelled? With a U, not a W. Elwood P. Dowd. Thank you, Judge. Dr. Sanderson, I believe your name is Dr. Sanderson.
Yes, doctor.
You know that much, don't you? You went to medical school, specialized in the study of psychiatry. You went forth. Perhaps I neglected to tell you that a rabbit has large, pointed ears. That a hat for a rabbit would have to be perforated for those large, pointed ears.
But Dowd seemed reasonable enough this afternoon, doctor.
Doctor, the function of a psychiatrist is to tell the difference between those who are reasonable and those who merely talk and act reasonable. You want to realize what you have done to me? Don't answer. I'll tell you. You've permitted a psychotic case to go off and roam around these grounds with an overgrown white rat. You've subjected me, a psychiatrist, to the humiliation of having to call, of all things, a lawyer.
Dr. Chumley,
Just a minute. I will now have to go and do something I haven't done in 15 years. I will have to go off these grounds and look for this man, Elwood P. Dowd. And when I do, I will bring him back here. And when I do bring him back here, your connection with this institution has ended as of that moment. Understand? Wilson, get the car. Betty, call the McClures. Tell them we can't make it. Kelly, come with me and get this woman out of the hydro tunnel.
Yes, Doctor. Oh no, I'll have to tell Coco to come home for dinner. She'll be furious. Wilson?
Yes, ma'am.
What is a puka?
A what?
A puka. I wonder if they have it in the encyclopedia here? They have everything here. I wonder if it is a lodge or what it is. Oh, I don't dare stop to do this now. If Dr. Chumley came down and found me still here, he would be, oh no.
P-O-O-K-A, puka, from old Celtic mythology. A fairy spirit animal form, always very large. The puka appears here and there, now and then, to this one and to that one at its own caprice. A wise but mischievous creature, very fond of rum pots and crackpots. And how are you, Mr. Wilson? How are you, Mr. Wilson? Who in the encyclopedia wants to know? Oh, to hell with it!
Folks all call him Little Sam. They know that he can jump jive. They know that he can jam. The jitterbugs all gather round, and they begin to jump jive, shag and hustle down. He's got rhythm from the top of his head to the tip of his toes. The beat's right with him. Everybody knows that he's the best man in the band. They know that he's the best musician in the land. Everybody knows that he's the best man in the band. They know that he's the best musician in the land. A rhythm sound, the cat who can really jam.
That's right, the stairs at the end of the hall. Go right up. I'll be with you in a second.
Well, where is she?
Where's him? Whom do you mean, Doctor? Sit down, won't you?
I mean your mother. Where's Beta Louise?
Well, Judge, you know where she is. She went to take Uncle Elwood out to the sanitarium.
I know that, but why was I called at the club when I with a lot of hysteria? Couldn't even get what she was talking about. Carrying on something fierce.
Mother? Carrying on? About what?
I don't know. She was hysterical.
That's strange. She took Uncle Elwood to the sanitarium. That's all she had to do.
upstairs trying to talk to you.
Oh! Yes. Did you find it? I'll be with you in a second. They found it. Sorry.
Who are you talking to?
Oh. When Mother went out with Uncle Elwood, I went to the real estate to put the house on the market. And guess what I found?
I'm not a quiz kid.
I found a man who's looking for an old house like this to get into buffet apartments. He's looking through it now.
Now see here, Myrtle May. This house doesn't belong to you. It belongs to your Uncle Elwood.
But now that Uncle Elwood is locked up, it belongs to Mother, doesn't it?
Where is your mother? Where's Beta Louise?
I already told you. She went to Chumley's Rest to put Uncle Elwood in.
But why did she call me at the club when I was in the middle of the game and scream at me to meet her here about something important?
I don't know. I simply do not know.
You know, you're going to need the deed to this house if you're going to sell the house.
Do you have it?
Yes, it's in my safe. But Myrtle, I feel pretty bad about all this business of locking Elwood up.
Now me and Mother can take a long trip to Canada.
I always liked that boy. He could have been anything, done anything, made a place for himself in this community.
But all he did was bring home a big rabbit.
He had everything. Brains, personality, friends. Men liked him, women liked him, I liked him. Of course, there was always something different about Elwood.
I don't doubt that.
Yes, he was always so calm about any sudden change of plans. I used to admire it. So I should have been suspicious. Take your average man looking up and seeing a big white rabbit. He'd do something about it. But not Elwood. Elwood took that calmly too. And look where it got him.
You don't dream how far he's gone overboard with this rabbit.
Oh, yes, I do. He's had that rabbit in my office many's the time. I'm old, but I don't miss much. What is that noise?
The respecter bar on the 3rd floor.
Hey, Louise, what's wrong, girl?
I never thought seeing you again.
Steady, girl, steady.
Not so fast. Let me sit down. Only get me someplace where I can sit down.
Here you are, girl. Easy, Myrtle, easy.
Oh.
What happened to you?
They put me in and let Elwood out. I'm going to sue them.
What? What?
Mother, what are you talking about? I didn't do anything. I just told them about Elwood and Harvey. And then
Then how could it happen to you? I don't understand it.
I didn't do one thing. I simply told them about Elwood and Harvey. Don't even know what I'm talking about. I told them about Elwood, and then I went down to the cab to get his things. As I was walking along the path, this awful man stepped out.
A man? What did he do?
He took hold of me and took me into the sanitarium, and then
Go on, Beta Louise. Go on, girl.
I always said the man jumped at me, I'd fight. When he huffed me in that sanitarium, set me down in that tub of water, and I began treating him like I was
A what?
a crazy woman. But he did that just for spite.
Well, I'll be damned.
And then the doctor came in and asked me a lot of questions. That place ought to be cleaned up. You better get the authorities to clean it up, Beaumont.
This stinks to high heaven, Beta. By God, it stinks.
Let's do something, Judge. You've got to sue them.
I will, girl. By God, I will. If Chumley thinks he can run an unsavory place like this on the outskirts of town, he'll be publicly chastised. By God, I'll run him out of the state.
Those doctors ought to be ashamed of themselves.
Now, let me take some notes on this. Here's a pencil. How very nice. Now, these doctors, they came up to see Dr. Chumley and, what was the other doctor's name?
Sanderson. Don't you listen to anything he says, Judge. He's a liar. Close-set eyes. They're always liars. Besides, I don't know something in the strictest confidence. I blabbed it.
What'd you tell him, Mother?
What does it matter? I don't even want to talk about it. I want to sue them, and I want to get in my own bed.
Anything you told this doctor, you can tell us, Beta Louise. This is your daughter, and I am your lawyer.
I know which is which. Don't want to talk about it.
But Mother, where's Uncle Elwood?
How should I know? They let him go. Wait till next time you take him, Judge. You wait until he hears what they did to me. He won't stand for it. I'm going to go to bed. Don't forget to sue them, Judge. As long as you live, I hope that never, never a man dumps you down into a tub of water.
Now see, Mother, everything. No matter what happened out there, Uncle Elwood is still wandering around with Harvey.
The thing for me to do is to take some more notes.
I won't give up. Wait. No. This is Uncle Elwood's fault. He found out what we were up to, and he had her put in instead of him. Then he ran.
Now, don't you talk about like that, Merle May. Your Uncle Elwood has always thought the world and all of your mother. Ever since he was a little boy, all he wanted was to share everything he had with her.
I won't give up. We'll find a detective. We'll have him be locked up. And besides, you should save some of that sympathy for me and Mother. Just you wait till I show you what he brought home about 6 months ago, and me and Mother hid out in the garage.
I'm going upstairs to talk to Veda. There's more in this than she's telling. I sense that.
Just you wait.
All right, I'll wait.
Okay, is he in here?
What? What's this?
The crackpot with the rabbit, is he here?
No. And who, may I ask, are you?
Dr. Chumley, he's not in here. What's your name?
Chumley. Well, well, well.
What's your name? Let's have it.
I am Judge Gaffney. Now, where is Chumley?
The reason I ask is the doctor always likes to know who he's speaking to. Dr. Chumley, this guy says his name is Judge Gaffney.
Well, well, Chumley.
Good afternoon, Judge. Let's not waste any time. Has he been here?
Who? Elwood? No. But see here, Doctor.
He's wise now. He's hiding. It's going to be an awfully hard job to smoke him out.
It'll be difficult, but I'll do it. They're sly. They're cunning. But I get them. I always get them.
Dr. Chumley, I have to inform you that Mrs. Simmons has retained me to file suit against you.
What?
About what happened this afternoon at the sanitarium.
A suit.
And while we're on that subject,
That's pretty, ain't it, Doctor, after dragging us all over town to find that guy?
What happened this afternoon was an unfortunate mistake. I've discharged my client who made it. And I will take charge for this man's case personally. It interests me. And my interest is something no amount of money can buy.
but this business this afternoon, Doctor.
Water under the dam. This is how I see it. I see it this way. We need to go out and get this man, take him to the sanitarium where he belongs.
Now see here, Veda was manhandled. She was, God knows what she was. The man's approach to her was not professional, it was personal.
Wilson, this is a serious charge.
Doctor, I've been with you 10 years. Are you going to believe me, or what's your name again?
Gaffney, Judge Omar Gaffney.
Are you going to believe me, or this old blistered Gaffney in a game who sees a rabbit?
It's not Mrs. Simmons who sees the rabbit, it's her brother.
Yeah, it's Uncle Elwood.
Now, if you'll come with me, Doctor.
Well, Wilson. I have a situation. Let's go.
Okay, Doctor.
Hello? Chumley's Rest. Oh, it's Mrs. Chumley. How are you today, Mrs. Chumley? Oh, this is Elwood P. Dowd speaking. Tell me, were you able to locate Harvey? Don't worry about it. I'll find him. I'm sorry I missed you in the clerk cocktail party. The people were all charming, and I was able to leave quite a few of my cards. I waited until you phoned and said you couldn't come because of escaped. Where are you? I'm here, and I'm leaving right away. I must find Harvey. Well, good night, Mrs. Chumley. My regards to you and anybody else you happen to run into. Goodbye.
Miss Simmons.
Hello? No. Doctor, you might as well go home and wait. I'm suing you for $50,000 and that's funny.
Mrs. Simmons.
Hello? Yes. No. This is Dexter 1575.
This picture over your mantle?
Some man painted it. I forget his name. Part of the house.
I suppose if you have the money to persuade people to do stuff, they'll do whatever you want.
Dr. Chumley, when you helped me out of that tub at your place, what did I say to you?
Oh, you expressed yourself some way. I forget the words exactly.
I said, Dr. Chumley, this is a belated community. Isn't that what I said?
You said something of the sort.
Well, you brought this up. You may as well learn something about it. The difference between a mechanical thing like a photograph and a fine oil painting is simply this. A photograph shows only the reality. A painting shows not only the reality, but the dream behind it. It's our dreams that keep us going, that separate us from the beasts. Well, I wouldn't even want to live if I thought it was just eating and sleeping and going to bed and taking off my clothes and putting them on again. Ha! Doctor, that is not my mother.
Steady now, steady. I'm glad to hear that.
Elwood's been here. He's been here. He's been here.
Sit down. I'll answer. Hello. Who is this? Veda. It's Elwood.
Oh, let me talk to him.
Don't tell him I'm here. Be casual.
Hello, Elwood. Hello.
Try to see where he is.
Oh, Elwood, where are you? Oh, what's to know if Harvey is here?
Tell him Harvey's here.
But he's not.
Lie to him. Humor him. We have to.
Yes, Elwood, Harvey is here, but he can't come to the phone right now. He's in the bathtub. I'll send him over when he's dry. Where are you? Elwood, where? Elwood!
Did he hang up?
Harvey just walked in the door. He asked me to check who's in the bathtub. It must be a stranger.
Did he at least say where he was?
No, but I think he's at Charlie's place. That's a bar over at 12th and Main.
Oh, 12th and Main. That's 2 blocks and over, isn't it?
Yes. Doctor, where are you going?
Going over to the sanitarium to take your brother where he belongs.
Well, I wouldn't do that if I were you. Send one of your attendants. I'm warning you.
But, Miss Simmons, if I'm to help your brother,
There is no help for him. Not anymore.
do you consider...
Picked up and locked up and left.
Miss Simmons, do you consider your brother a dangerous man?
Dangerous.
Why?
Well, if I won't tell you why, but if I didn't, why would I be asking for a permanent commitment for him?
Well then, I must go and see the expression on his face whenever he talks to this rabbit. He does speak with this rabbit, you say.
They tell each other everything.
What's that?
Of course he talks to him.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go check him. I'm going to go get him now.
You think you can handle him? That's what you think. Doctor, you underestimate my brother.
Thank you. I may call later.
How about the stuff in your office, doctor? Upstairs.
upstairs?
I'll pack. Thanks, Wilson.
When are you leaving?
As soon as Dr. Kelly gets back.
Kelly, have you gotten the reports back from the desk sergeant about the accident police bureau yet?
Not yet. I just talked to the downstairs dispensary. They haven't seen him.
Starting to smell awfully funny to me. 4 hours he's been gone and not a word from him. Dr. Sanderson, I'd like to say, I wish you a lot of luck and I'm mighty sorry you got the kick in the accident.
Thanks, Wilson. I'll let it to you, too.
Oh, and Kelly, when you see Chumley, let him know I'm looking for him. He should know not to go after and look for a loon without me.
I'd like to help look for the doctor, too, Wilson.
Oh, that's mighty swell of you, right after he kicked you out.
I've no resentments against Dr. Chumley. He was right and I was wrong. Chumley's the biggest man in his field. It's my loss not to be able to work with him.
You're not so small yourself, Doctor.
Thanks, Wilson.
Don't mention it.
Dr. Sanderson.
Yes?
Well, Doctor, I want to say that I wish you a lot of luck and I'm sorry to see you.
Are you sure you can spare his good wishes, Miss Kelly?
On second thought, I guess I can't forget it.
Miss Kelly, this is going to take just a little advice. I'd be a little careful about the kind of company I kept.
I beg your pardon, Doctor?
You don't have to. Told you it was free. I saw you Saturday night dancing throughout the strip in the rosary down front of your hotel.
Oh, I didn't notice you.
I'd be a little careful with him, Kelly. He looks to me a nut job all the way across the floor.
You really shouldn't have given him a thought, Doctor. It was my date, not yours.
That was his mentality. The rest of them, well,
She was beautiful, though.
who?
That's what
I thought you didn't notice us.
you bumped into us twice. How could I not?
Not that it makes any difference to you, but that girl, Harvey little lady, she has a sweet kind of, she knows how to conduct herself.
Funny she couldn't wait a better date on a Saturday night.
She has never so nice.
Why doesn't she use it?
Oh, I don't suppose you're receptive for the flippant first show you have. You're probably compensating for something.
I am not. And don't use any of your psychiatry on me.
You're just a case history, that's all. I'd like to see where you get all that inflated ego.
If you aren't the meanest person, inflated ego, case history.
Don't run away. Let's finish it.
Just leave me alone. Yes, Sergeant. No accident report in either the town or the suburbs. Look, Sergeant, maybe we better just... Oh, never mind. They're here now. Mr. Dad.
Excuse me, my dear. These are for you.
For me, thank you.
They're quite fresh, too. I just picked them outside.
Dr. Chumley didn't see you. There's prize dollies. Did you go upstairs?
Where's Dr. Sanderson?
In his office there, I think.
Thank you.
Down, there you are.
I'm waiting outside. It's possible for you and Miss Kelly to go away now.
Where's Dr. Chumley?
Is he coming with us? That's nice. Well, I must apologize for being a few seconds late. I thought Miss Kelly should have some flowers.
Just a minute, Down. The situation has changed since we met this afternoon, but I urge you to have no resentments. Dr. Chumley is a friend. He only wants to help you.
That's very nice of him. I would like to help him too.
You begin by taking a cooperative attitude. That's half the battle. You always face reality, Down, sooner or later.
Doctor, I wrestled with reality for 40 years, and I'm happy to say that I finally went out of it. Won't you, Miss Kelly, join me down at Charlie's?
Here you are. Going upstairs, buddy. Going upstairs. Is the doctor okay?
There must be some mistake. Dr. Sanderson and Miss Kelly and I are going downtown for a drink. I'd be glad to have you come with us, Mr. Wilson. They have a wonderful floor show.
Yeah, but wait till they see the flush when we got upstairs.
Just a minute, Wilson. Where'd you say Dr. Chumley went now?
As I said, he did not confide his plans in me.
You mean the doctor hasn't showed up yet?
Not yet.
Where is he?
That's what we're trying to figure out.
Mr. Dad walked in here all by himself.
Mr. Dowd, Dr. Chumley went to town to pick you up. That was 4 hours ago.
Where's the evening lunch?
Listen to that. Smart. Eh?
Just a minute, Wilson. Did you see Dr. Chumley tonight, Dowd?
He did. I did. He came into Charlie's place around dinner time. It's a cozy spot. Let's go lay down and talk it over with the tall one.
Dr. Chumley did come into Charlie's place, you said?
He did, and I was very glad to see him.
Go on.
He had asked for me, and naturally the proprietor brought him over and left him. We exchanged the conventional greetings. I said, "How do you do, Dr. Chumley?" He said, "How do you do, Mr. Dowd?" I believe he said that at least once.
Okay.
I'm trying to be factual. I then introduced him to Harvey.
To who?
He's a white rabbit, 6 feet tall.
6 feet.
6 feet, 1.5. I sat down in the booth. I was on the outside. Harvey was on the inside near the wall. Dr. Chumley was directly across from Harvey, so you could look at him. Harvey then suggested that I buy him a drink. Knowing that he does not like to drink alone, I suggested to Dr. Chumley that we join him.
And so,
We joined him.
go on.
We joined him again.
Then what?
We kept right on joining him.
Oh, skip all the joining.
You were asking me to skip a large portion of the evening.
Just tell us what happened. Come on, please.
Dr. Chumley and Harvey got into a conversation, rather quietly at first, and then it became rather heated and Dr. Chumley raised his voice.
Yeah, why?
Harvey seemed to feel that Dr. Chumley should assume part of the financial responsibility of the journey, but Dr. Chumley didn't seem to want to do that.
I can believe that part of it.
Let him talk. See how far he'll go. This guy got guts.
I agreed to take all of it because I did not want any trouble. We go down to Charlie's quite often, Harvey and I, and the proprietor is a fine man with an interesting approach to life. Then the other matter came up.
Cut the damn double talk and get on with it.
Mr. Wilson, you're a sincere type of person, but I must ask you not to use that language in your together. Am I right, Dr. Sanderson?
You're right, Dad. And we're sorry. You say the other matter came up?
Yes, there was a woman, Mrs. Smethels, and her escort, seated in the booth across from us. Dr. Chumley went over to sit next to her and explained to her that they had once met in Chicago. Her escort then escorted Dr. Chumley back to me and Harvey and tried to point out that it would be better for Dr. Chumley to mind his own affairs. Does he have any?
Does he have any what?
Does he have any affairs?
How would I know?
Please hurry, Mr. Dell. We're all so worried.
Dr. Chumley then urged Harvey to go with him to Blanche's Chicken Inn. Harvey wanted to go to Eddie's instead. But they were arguing about it and went to the bar to order another drink. When I came back, they were gone.
So you're satisfied. You've got his story. You're lying and we know it.
I never lie, Mr. Wilson.
You've done something with the doctor and I'm finding out what it is.
Don't touch him, Wilson.
Maybe he isn't lying, Wilson.
That's all this guy is a bunch of lies. You two expect me to believe here they were sitting there talking to a big white rabbit?
Maybe Dr. Chumley did go to Charlie's place.
Saw a big white rabbit, I suppose.
Why not? Harvey was there. At first, Dr. Chumley seemed a little frightened of Harvey, but that gave way to admiration as the evening wore on. The evening wore on. That's a nice expression. With your permission, I'll say it again.
With your permission, I'll knock your teeth down your throat. Nerve of this guy. He couldn't come in here with a normal case of DTs. He has to come in here with a 6-foot rabbit.
Stimulating as all this is, I really must be getting downtown.
Charlie's place. Is there anyone around there? Dr. Chumley went there earlier this evening. What? Well, don't bite my head off. Man, that man was mad. He said Mr. Dowd was welcome anytime, but his friend was not.
That's Mr. McNulty, the bartender. He thinks a lot of me. Now, let's all go downtown and have a drink.
Wait a minute.
Mr. Dowd, what is it you do? Harvey and I sit in the bars, and we have a drink or two, and we play the jukebox. Soon the faces of the other people turn toward mine and smile. They're saying, "We don't know your name, mister, but you're a lovely fellow." Harvey and I warm ourselves in all these golden moments. We went to strangers, soon we have friends. They come over, they sit with us, they drink with us, they talk to us. They tell us about the big, terrible things they have done, the big, wonderful things they will do. They tell us their hopes, their regrets, their loves, and their hates. All very large, because nobody ever brings anything small into a bar. Then I introduce them to Harvey, and he is bigger and grander than anything they offer me. When they leave impressed. The same people seldom come back. That's envy, my dear. It's a little bit of envy in the best of us. It's too bad, isn't it?
How did you happen to call him Harvey?
Harvey is his name.
Oh, how do you know that?
Now that was an interesting coincidence, Doctor. One night, several years ago, I was walking early in the evening along Fairfax Street between 18th and 19th. You know that block?
Yes, yes.
I had just helped Ed Hickey into a taxi. Ed had been mixing his ride with his OJ, and I felt he needed conveying. Well, anyway, I started to walk down the street when I heard a voice saying, "Good evening, Mr. Dow." I turned and there was this great white rabbit leaning against a lamppost. Well, I thought nothing of that, because when you've lived in the town as long as I've lived in this one, you get used to the fact that everybody knows your name. Naturally, I went over to chat with him. He said to me, "Ed Hickey's level 5th this evening. Could I be mistaken?" Well, of course he was not mistaken. I think the world and all of Ed, but he was swift. So anyway, we stood there and talked, and finally I said, "You have the advantage of me. You know my name, and I don't know yours." Right back at me, he said, "What name do you like?" Didn't even have to think a minute. Harvey has always been my favorite name. So I said, Harvey. This is an interesting part of the whole thing. I said, what a coincidence. My name happens to be Harvey.
What's your father's name, Dad?
John. John Frederick.
Dad, when you were a child, you had a playmate, didn't you? Someone you were very fond of with whom you spent many happy, carefree hours?
Oh yes, doctor, didn't you?
What was his name?
Vern McKellen. Did you ever know the McKellens, doctor?
No.
Too bad. There were a lot of them. They circulated. Wonderful people.
Just think carefully, Dad. Wasn't there someplace, someone, just anyone who you knew by the name of Harvey? Did you ever know anybody by that name?
No, doctor. No one. Maybe that's why I always have such hopes for it.
Come on, Wilson. We'll take Mr. downstairs now.
I am bringing him nowhere. You've made this your show, so run it. You guys are just sitting here talking while Dr. Chumley's out on the street somewhere. You have made this your show, so you can run it.
Come on, Dad. Come on, Owen.
Very well, Lyman. I'm afraid I won't be able to visit you for very long. I've promised Harvey I will take him to the floor show.
Oh, boy. Dr. Chumley, are you all right?
All right, of course I'm all right. I'm being followed. Lock that door.
Who's following?
None of your business. Wilson! Wilson!
Yes, doctor. How'd you get out here, doctor? You were just in your office a minute ago.
I went through my... Wilson, don't leave me!
No, doctor.
You need to get that man down out of here, Wilson.
Yes, doctor.
No, don't leave me, Wilson!
But you just said...
Call Dumpy on the telephone. He'll get him out.
Dumpy, give that guy down his clothes. Tell him to meet us down here right away.
No, don't leave me, Wilson!
Okay, doctor. Judge Gaffney.
I want to see Dr. Chumley. Chumley, we've got to talk to you. This thing is serious.
It certainly is.
More serious than you suspect. Where can we go to talk?
Not in there!
The doctor doesn't want you in his office.
No, sir.
Then sit down, Dr. Chumley. Sit down, Myrtle May.
Sit down, Chumley. Sit down, Myrtle Bay. Don't go, Wilson.
Okay.
Don't leave me.
Doctor.
Now, here are my notes, the facts. Has it ever occurred to you that there might possibly be something like this rabbit, Harvey, Dr. Chumley?
No, and anyone who thinks so is crazy. Don't look at me like that. There's nothing funny about me. I'm just like my father's side of the family. They're all dead.
Now then, my client, the plaintiff, Mrs. Beta Louise Simmons, swears under oath that on the morning of November 2nd, while standing in the kitchen of her home, hearing her name called, she turned and saw this great white rabbit, Harvey. He was staring at her. Resenting the intrusion, the plaintiff made certain remarks and drove the creature from the room. He went.
What did she say to him?
She was emphatic. The remarks were not important.
I want to know how she got this creature out of her sanitarium. I mean, home.
She looked him right in the eye and exclaimed in the heat of anger, "To hell with you!"
To hell with you. And he went.
Yes, he left, but that's beside the point. The point is it perjury or is it something we can cope with? I ask for your opinion.
Ruthie, I've been looking all over for you.
Dr. Sanderson, disregard what I said this afternoon. You're a young, astute man. I want you on my staff.
Oh, Lyman, did you hear?
Oh, bye.
Oh, see you later.
We need to keep Uncle Elwood locked up here.
No! I want this sanitarium the way it was before that man came out here this afternoon.
I know what you mean.
Oh, you do?
Well, it certainly gets on anyone's nerves the way Uncle Elwood knows it's going to happen before it happens. This morning, for instance, he said that Harvey told him that Miss McKellar's Aunt Rose was going to come in unexpectedly tonight from Cleveland.
And did she?
Did she what?
Aunt Rose. Did she drop in?
Oh yes, those things always turn out the way Uncle Elwood says they are.
And
but
you say,
what do we care of it?
you
What
say
do we care of the McKellars?
You say this sort of thing happens often?
Yes, and isn't it silly? Uncle Elwood says that Harvey tells him everything. Harvey knows everything. But how could that be when there's no such thing?
Fly specks. I've been living my life among fly specks, while miracles have been leaning on lampposts on 18th and Fairfax.
Good. Nobody here but people.
Mother, you said you wouldn't be coming.
Oh, well, good evening. I brought Elwood's book.
Sit down there, girl.
I will not sit down there. Well, why are all of you sitting here? I thought you'd be committing him.
Everything will be settled shortly.
Doctor, may I give an opinion?
Yes, do, by all means.
His opinion. He's the doctor I told you about, Omar.
It's
Eyes.
It's my opinion that Ellen P. Dowd is suffering from a third-degree hallucination, and the other party concerned is the victim of honest suggestion. I recommend shock formula number 977 for him, bed rest at home for.
And you do.
That's my diagnosis, doctor. Mr. Dowd will not see this rabbit anymore after this injection. We've used it in 100 psychopathic cases.
Don't you call my brother a psychopathic case. There's never been anything like that in our family.
Mother, if you didn't think Uncle Elwood was a psychopathic, then why'd you bring him here?
But where else could I take him? I couldn't take him to jail, could I? Besides, this thing is not your uncle's fault. Why did Harvey have to speak to him in the first place? With all this town full of people, why did he have to bother Elwood?
If this shock formula brings people back to reality, give it to him. That's where we want Elwood.
I'm not sure that it would work in a case of this kind, Doctor.
It always has.
Harvey always follows Elwood home.
He does?
Yes. But if he comes to the door and Elwood doesn't see him, then I'll have to deal with him.
Mother, won't you stop talking about Harvey as though there's such thing?
Myrtle May, you've got a lot to learn, and I hope you never learn it.
Shh, here he is.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Elwood. I brought you your Jane Austen book.
Thank you, Veda.
Well, Chumley, what do we do? We've got to do something.
Oh, yes, we must.
Yes, it's imperative.
Well, while you're making up your mind, let's go down to Charlie's and have a drink.
We're not going anywhere, Elwood. You're staying right here.
Yes, Uncle Elwood.
Stay here, son.
I plan to leave. You want me to stay? An element of conflict in any discussion is a good thing. It means everybody's taking part and nobody's left out. I like that. Oh, how'd you get along with Harvey, Doctor?
We're waiting for your answer, Doctor.
What?
What is your decision?
I must be alone with this man. Will you step into another room? I'll have my diagnosis in a moment.
Do hurry, Doctor.
I will. Here, Mr. Dowd, let me give you this chair. I would give you a cigar, but I'm all out. Would there be anything else I could get you instead?
What did you have in mind?
Mr. Dowd, what kind of man are you? Where do you come from?
Didn't I give you one of my cards?
And where on the face of this tired earth did you find a thing like him?
Harvey the Puka.
Is it true that he has a function? That he...
Gets advance notice? I'm happy to say it is. Harvey is versatile. Harvey can stop clocks.
What?
You've heard that expression, his face would stop a clock?
Yes, but why? To what purpose?
Harvey says that he can look at your clock and stop it. Then you can go away, as far as you like, as long as you like, and with whomever you like. And then you come back, not 1 minute will have ticked by.
You mean that he actually...
Einstein has overcome time and space. So has Harvey.
And does he? Does he do this?
He's willing to at any time, but so far I've never been able to think of any place I'd rather be. I always have a fine time just where I am, whomever I'm with. I'm having a fine time with you right now, Doctor.
I know where I'd go.
Where?
I'd go to Akron.
Akron?
There's a cottage camp outside Akron in a grove of maple trees, cool, green, beautiful.
My favorite tree.
I'd go there with a young woman, a strange woman, a quiet woman. I wouldn't even want to know her name. I would be just Mr. Brown.
Why wouldn't you want to know her name? You might be acquainted with the same people.
I'd send out for cold beer. I would talk to her. I would tell her things I've never told anyone. Things locked in here. And then I'd send out for more cold beer.
No wonder.
No, beer's better.
But she might like a highball.
I wouldn't let her talk to me, but as I talked, I would want her to stroke my head and say, "You poor thing, oh, you poor, poor thing."
How long would you like that to go on?
2 weeks at least.
I get it. Exhausting, just Akron beer and poor thing for 2 weeks.
Oh, no, it would not. It would be absolutely wonderful.
Do you think you'd like to lie down for a while?
No, I'm perfectly fine. Cold beer, Akron, and a good listener. God, man.
Are you sure you would not like to lie down?
No. But tell me, mister. Could he do this for me?
He can and he might. I've never heard Harvey say a word against Akron. By the way, Doctor, where is Harvey?
Why, don't you know?
Last time I saw him, he was with you. Oh, he's probably waiting for me down at Charlie's.
That's it. He's down at Charlie's.
No, excuse me, Doctor.
And Mr. Down, don't go in there.
I couldn't leave without saying goodnight to my friend, Dr. Sanderson.
Dr. Sanderson is not your friend. None of those people are your friend. I am your friend.
Thank you, Doctor, and I'm yours.
And this sister of yours, Veda Simmons, she's at the bottom of this conspiracy against you. She's trying to persuade me to lock you up. She's had commitment papers drawn up.
My sister did all that in one afternoon. Veda is certainly a whirlwind.
God, haven't you any righteous indignation?
Dr. Chumley, my mother used to say to me, in this world, Elwood, she always called me Elwood, she'd say, in this world, Elwood, you must be oh so smart, or oh so pleasant. For years I was smart, but I recommend pleasant. You may quote me.
Just the same, I'll protect you if I have to commit her. Would you like me to do that?
Oh, no, Doctor. Not unless Veda wanted it that way. Not that you don't have a nice place out here, but I think Veda would be happier at home with me and Harvey and Myrtle May.
Yes.
Miss Kelly, diviner grace has never brightened this enchanting face. Ovid's fifth elegy. Wonder if I'd be able to remember any more of that poem. Ovid has always been my favorite poet.
Hey, pal, you're discharged. Come this way.
Wilson, take your hands off that man.
What?
Apologize to Mr. Down.
Apologize to this guy? The one with the rabbit?
Apologize.
I apologize. This is the door.
Finally, I'll remember. Dr. Sanderson, I couldn't leave without saying goodnight to you.
Just a minute, Dad. Doctor, do you agree with my diagnosis?
Yes, call them in.
Thank you, Doctor. Mrs. Simmons, Judge Gaffney, will you stand you for a minute, please?
Is it settled?
I find I concur with Dr. Sanderson.
Thank you, Doctor.
Well, let's celebrate. I have some new bars listed in the back of this book.
This injection carries a violent reaction. Give it to the consultant. We can't give it to him without his consent. Will we give it?
Of course he will if I ask him. Just don't ask him. Just give it to him.
We should telephone for a table. We'll go to Benny's Drive-In. How many of us will there be, Veda?
Elwood.
Mr. Down, I have this formula. It's called Formula 977. I think we should give it to you. This formula will be very good for you, Mr. Elwood.
Elwood, you won't see this rabbit anymore.
But you'll see your responsibilities, your duties.
I'm sure if you thought of a doctor, it must be a very fine thing. And if I happen to run into anybody who needs it, I will be glad to recommend it. For myself, I wouldn't care for it.
See that, doctors? Hear that, Judge? That's what we have to put up with.
Rita, do you want me to take this?
Elwood, I'm only thinking of you. You're my brother, and I've known you for years. I'd do anything for you. That Harvey wouldn't do anything for you. He's making a fool out of you, Elwood. Don't be a fool.
I won't.
Why, you could amount to something. You could be sitting on the Western Slope Waterboard if you don't go over and ask them.
All right, Rita, if that's what you want. Harvey and I will go over tomorrow and ask them.
Tomorrow, I never want to see another tomorrow. Not while Myrtle May and I have to live in the house with that rabbit. Our friends never come to see us. We have no social life. We have no life at all. I wish I were dead, but maybe you don't care.
I've always felt that Rita should have everything she wants. Rita, are you sure? I'll take it. What about the doctor?
In Mr. Sanderson's office, though.
How long will this take, Doc?
Just a minute. Won't you wait?
We'll wait.
Say goodbye to the old fellow for me, won't you?
Dr. Sanderson said it wouldn't take long.
Now, Mother, don't fidget.
Oh, how can I help it?
How stunning. Mother, could you see me in a house cut of this material?
Yes, dear, but let me get a good night's sleep first.
Come in. What do you want?
I'm looking for a little... Oh, there you are, old lady. You jumped out of the cab without paying me.
Oh, yes, I forgot. How much is it?
All the way out here from town, $2.75.
$2.75. I could have sworn I brought my coin purse. Myrtle, do you have any money?
Sorry, the money that Uncle Elwood gave me was spent on my new haircut style.
George, do you have $2.75 I could borrow to pay this man?
Sorry, nothing but a check.
We don't take checks.
I know.
Charlie, do you happen to have $2.75 I could borrow this cab driver? Oh, wait.
No, I forgot my wallet and there's no time to get it. I have to get on with this injection.
Well, I'll get it for you from my brother, but I can't get it now. He's in there to get an injection. You'll have to wait.
You're gonna get my money from your brother and he's in there to get some of that stuff they shoot at here?
Yes, it won't be but a few minutes.
Lady, I want my money now.
But I told you it would only be a few minutes.
And I told you I want my money now, or I'm driving the cab back to town and you can wait for the bus at 6 in the morning.
Well, of all the pig-headed, stubborn things.
I should say so.
What's the matter with you?
Nothing that $2.75 will fix. You heard me. Take it or leave it.
I never heard anything so unreasonable in my life. Dr. Chumley, will you let Elwood step out here a minute? This cab driver won't wait.
Be quick.
Elwood, I came off without my coin purse. Would you give this man $2.75? Don't give him any more. He's been very rude.
How do you do? That was my name, Elwood P.
Love friend's mine, BJ.
I'm glad to meet you. This is my sister, Mrs. Simmons, my charming little niece, Myrtle May Simmons, Jill Gaffney, and Dr. Chumley. Hi. Mr. Lofgren, let me get you on my card.
Can we get on with this, Mr. Dowd?
Certainly. My sister, my charming little niece, lives with me here at this address. Won't you and your brother join us sometime for dinner?
Sure, I'd be glad to.
When would you be glad to?
I couldn't come any night but Tuesday. I'm on duty all the rest of the week.
You must come on Tuesday then. We'll expect you and be delighted to see you. Won't we, Beta? Well?
Elwood, come on.
This man has friends of his own.
Beta, one can't have too many friends. We shan't keep Dr. Chumley waiting. Here you are. Keep the change. I'm glad.
Always has been.
Not after this, you won't be. Lady, after this, you'll be a perfectly normal human being. And you know what bastards they are. Glad I met you. I'll wait.
Oh, Myrtle May, just Gaffney. Stop it!
You can't do that. Dr. Chumley is giving me advice.
You gotta stop that.
I don't want him to have it. I don't want Elwood that way. I don't like people like that.
Here, what's all this commotion?
What's the trouble, Doc? She sounded off again? She wants to stop the injection.
We haven't given it to him yet, but we're about to. Take Miss Simmons away.
Take your hands off me, you!
You don't know what you want. You didn't want this rabbit either.
And what's wrong with Harvey? If Elwood and Myrtle May and I want to live with Harvey, it's nothing to you. You don't even have to come around. Elwood! Elwood! Elwood!
Sit there, Rita. Rita's all tired out. She's done a lot today.
Oh, have it your way. I'm not giving up my game with the club again, no matter how big the animal is.
I hate this place. I wish I'd never seen it.
But see here!
Whatever Rita says, Doctor.
Oh, look at that. Must have been here all this time. Harvey. Now, come along, Elwood. Come along, Uncle May.
Good night, Miss Wilson. Good night, Dr. Sherry. Doctor, for years I've known what my family thinks of Harvey, but I've often wondered what Harvey's family thinks of me. Oh, there you are. Doctor, do you mind? You're standing inside. Harvey, where have you been?